Even Sir, Cadet Reed Kid, briefing squad raid on Objective Phantom. Alright, this evening I will be briefing 1st Squad, 1st Platoon, Charger Co. 1-5 Infantry's raid on Objective Phantom. Alpha Team, are we up? Bravo Team, are we up? Weapons Team, up. Please have something to write with and something to write on and take notes. Confirmation briefs will be expected. Please hold all questions until the end. Alright, for the remainder of this order, I'm primarily going to be briefing off of the company level operations overlay, but will at times be using enemy situation templates, and at times also ask you to reference the provided GTAO and squad level enemy situations template. For all of the maps, up will be north, down will be south, east, and west. Also, for the remainder of this op board, we'll be operating in local time, which is going to be Zulu plus 8 hours. All right, our task org for this operation, we're going to be operating as 1st Squad with all of our organic assets, as well as with the addition of a 3-man medium machine gun team attached from Weapons Squad. Our squad task and purpose is to attack to destroy Objective Phantom here in order to deny enemy influence in the AO. Our teams, Alpha Team will be occupying security positions to protect Bravo Team and Weapons Team. Bravo Team will be our assault element attacking to destroy Objective Phantom in order to deny the enemy access to their medium mortar. Weapons Team will be the support by fire element supporting Bravo Team. Orienting you now to our area of operations and our area of interest. Our AO, we're boxed by the north by the 37th Northing, in the south by the 31st Northing, in the east by this ridge line of the Hainan Mountain Range, and in the west by the Bainan River. Some key points of interest are going to be this bridge here, as well as villages along Route Camaro here and here. Route Camaro travels north-south through AO Ronan and is a primary military supply route. Some key items in the area of interest are going to be the enemy's close air support, which is going to have a 30-minute response time. However, we shouldn't have to worry about that, as they will only trigger on a battalion-sized element or larger. For fires, the enemy's going to have access to a 152mm howitzer battery, which will be located to the southwest. That'll have a 10-minute response time and will fire on squad-size elements, something we need to be cognizant of. However, we are not their primary target. They are primarily supporting Objective Bobcat and AO Amarok to our east. Similarly, the medium mortar located here on Objective Phantom has a 5-minute response time, but is also targeting working in defense of Objective Bobcat and AO Amarok. That mortar is equivalent to the US MS250 system and has a 5-minute response time. The enemy also has access to 1 reserve platoon of motorized infantry with a 40-minute response time to our southwest. This time, if you could please reference the GTAO, as I'm going to go over our terrain and weather. For terrain, obstacles to keep in mind are primarily going to be the steep terrain along this ridge, as well as heavily wooded areas. This is going to drastically slow friendly and enemy dismounted movement through those areas. Avenues of approach, the enemy is going to have access to many mounted avenues of approach, such as Route Camaro here, and these roads in the south of AO Ronan. You can allow them rapid response time with their mounted units. We do not have access, as our friendly forces do not have access to high-speed avenues of approach. However, we do have dismounted avenues of approach traveling through here, as well as along the ridge. For 2 pieces of key terrain, K1, as seen on the GTAO, will be this bridge here. It's where most, if not all, of enemy reinforcements and resupplies will travel through. Second piece of key terrain is going to be this hilltop overlooking Objective Phantom, where we will establish our support by fire element. For observation of fields of fire, there are going to be these many draws and spurs along this ridge that will break the line of fire for direct fire weapon systems and limit observation. For cover and concealment, much of this area that we'll be working in will be heavily wooded, which should provide cover, which will provide concealment. However, it will not provide cover from their indirect fire weapon systems. So if we are observed, the PP-87 mortar and the howitzers will be able to effectively target us in that area. For weather, our visibility is going to be extremely low, especially at night. This plays into U.S. friendly forces' hands, as our night vision capabilities are superior to the adversary. Wind is going to be of little concern throughout this mission. Precipitation, cloud cover, and humidity will all be very high. This should work to limit our auditory signature while traveling and prevent us from being detected by the enemy. Cloud cover will also prevent observation from unmanned aerial systems. However, that's not a major concern, but something we need to be cognizant of. Temperature and humidity, it's going to be very hot and very humid. Make sure we bring extra socks. Light data, we're going to stand to at 04:15 each morning, and stand to will end no earlier than 1940 each night. I'll now transition to briefing the enemy situation. So here we see the company level enemy situations template. As a company, Charger Co. is facing a North Torbian company. They're going to have 2 motorized platoons located here and here, as well as air defense platoons located here and here. In addition, they're going to have a dismounted reconnaissance squad, as well as a mortar team here. As an enemy platoon, we are facing an enemy North Torbian motorized platoon. They're going to have 3 motorized squads in this villages here and here, as well as in the north along Rab Camaro. These motorized squads will have access to CSK 141 transport systems, each equipped with a heavy machine gun. In addition, the enemy platoon has a dismounted reconnaissance squad in screening positions here and a mortar team here. That mortar team is our primary adversary as first squad, and this is the enemy that we will be tackling. That mortar team has 4 packs at 100% strength. If you'd like to view its disposition, you can now turn your attention to the squad level enemy situation template provided. The mission of the medium mortar team is to disrupt U.S. forces in order to support the North Torbian defense of objective Bobcat. And in addition to that mortar, they're going to have small arms effective to about 400 meters, the range of which you can see on that provided situations template. Our high value and high payoff target is one and the same. It is going to be that medium mortar. It's an 82 millimeter mortar, roughly equivalent to the United States MS250 system. It's going to be a high value target because it is the enemy's source of fires, primary source of fires within AO Ronin, and it'll be a high payoff target because should we eliminate it, we greatly increase U.S. friendly forces' freedom of maneuver in both AO Ronin and AO Amarak. In addition to that mortar team, we also need to be prepared to come into contact with this motorized North Torbian squad here. They're going to have 9 packs in a CSK 141 with a heavy machine gun as well as various small arms. We also need to be prepared to run into this screening element, which will have 9 packs and they'll be equipped with small arms. It's a dismounted unit. Their small arms are going to include sniper rifles and light machine guns effective to about 1,000 meters. Enemy capabilities by warfighting function. Intelligence is going to be a weakness. They are very uncertain following 2327's air assault of the adjoining AO to our west, AO Noslag. The movement of maneuver is also going to be a weakness because that mortar team that we're facing is dismounted and separated from their other enemy forces, so they will not be able to break contact with us as we conduct our assault. Their fires are going to be a weakness because both that mortar and the howitzers are not targeting our units. They're targeting AO Amarak to our east. Protection is going to be a strength. They don't have any fortifications, but they do have a relatively robust screening element that we will have to bypass. Sustainment is a strength. As long as Route Camaro remains open, the enemy will be very well supplied. Command and control is definitely a weakness for the enemy as they're very dispersed throughout the AO, and their attachments are not directly incorporated underneath a squad. They have to report back to the platoon headquarters, seen here. For the enemy most likely course of action, for that mortar team, you can reference the enemy situations template. The mortar team is facilitating the North Torbian defense of objective Bobcat to our east by disrupting U.S. forces with indirect fire. Their primary enabler is early identification of U.S. forces. It's going to be conducted by this reconnaissance squad. It's their primary enabler because they're relying on that squad to detect any assaulting force, namely us. Their desired end state is to secure objective Phantom, pacify the civilians in AO Ronin, disrupt U.S. forces assaulting objective Bobcat, and to minimize their own friendly casualties. Now transitioning and talking about our higher headquarters missions. Our company intent is that Charger Co. 1-5 Infantry will disrupt enemy forces in AO Ronin no later than 30 August, 2200 hours, in order to deny enemy influence in the battalion's decisive operation. To expand upon that purpose, we will conduct disjointed squad operations in depth within AO Ronin to conceal current capabilities of Charger Co., disrupt the enemy commander's decision cycle, force him to divert combat power from objective Bobcat, and to buy time for Charger Co. to reconsolidate. Our key tasks as a company are to disrupt enemy operations, deny the uncontested use of high-speed avenues of approach, retain our own maximal combat power, avoid decisive engagements, and reconsolidate 2nd and 3rd Platoon. 2nd and 3rd Platoon are operating to our north, and they will also be conducting disjointed squad operations with intermittent radio contacts. We will not be able to contact them in need of assistance. As a platoon, 1st Platoon, Charger Co. will disrupt enemy forces in AO Ronin no later than 30 August, 2200 hours in order to deny enemy influence in the battalion main effort. We will be doing this by conducting 3 different squad missions. The first squad will be advancing along Axis Ultra, attacking to destroy objective Phantom. Second squad will be ambushing to destroy the enemy on objective Reaper in order to disrupt enemy operations along Route Camaro. They will be joined by an attached gun team from Weapons Squad. Third squad will be demonstrating to suppress the enemy on objective Ghost in order to deceive the enemy of U.S. forces composition and distribution. They'll be operating independently. Our key tasks as a platoon are disrupt the enemy, deny us access to avenues of approach, retain our own combat power, and to avoid decisive engagements. The desired end state for both the company and the platoon is the primary military supply routes in AO Ronin are contested. We will minimize civilian casualties, infrastructure damage, disrupt the North Torbian forces, and reconsolidate our units for future follow-on offensive operations. Sir, at this time, this concludes my brief. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.